250,000 is kind of the median price range we're looking at targeting. So some roll out an introductory one at 199, and maybe with people's changes or their personal taste, because we're a custom home builder, they may exceed the 250. So, you know, we're basically going to target that area. We built a couple homes just recently in that price range, and they were sold before they even went up.
Are you the person who does the constructing, or will you be on site all the time?
Mitch is the project manager, and I probably go by the job sites, you know, a couple times a week. Donna is involved in all the design, all the kitchens, all the client selections. Her staff will sit down with people, and they go out before the house goes to the installation stage. They measure the kitchen before it's ordered. They do pretty much all the colors, the selections, the carpet, which is wonderful because her entire staff, which is actually 4 people, counting herself, all have degrees at Villa, and it's a 4-year degree program.
Okay. I'm more interested in actually the construction itself.
Yes.
Okay.
I can answer that for you.
Now, you farm it out to somebody else who's doing it, David Holmes does, he does not do the construction himself, he's an entrepreneur.
As far as construction,
I'd like to know who is actually
the road or
there. No.
the actual houses? We do subcontract framing, roofing, mechanicals, stuff like that. We have, you know, carpenters and, you know, trades like that, the smaller trades that work directly for us.
Very nice.
Yeah, but we have a very
You're supervising all of that.
Yeah, personally, as a project manager, I'm on job sites near daily. We're building a road right now in Lancaster off of Harris Hill Road, and I'm there about every day.
I go to the job sites too as well. Most of the contractors that we work with, some of them we've worked with for 20 years. It's not like we're just going to hire a new crew to come out here. We have employees that do the trades, the finished carpentry, the framing, but we can't, you know, keep them on staff all the time. But most of our guys they've been working for us for 20 years.
Go ahead.
Johnny Stovall says good things about you guys. They have a good reputation. However, I've heard rumors that you've never done a complete subdivision infrastructure, the whole.
Yes, we have.
No, not at all. It's not true that we haven't done it. The first project we did in the 80s was Brownstone Homes. Owned the street,
Brownstone
built
Court.
it. Brownstone Court, I'm sorry, we're Brownstone Homes. It's a 12-home site neighborhood, and that one we did all on our own. And then we did Bryce Landing off of Bugle Road, which is another, that happens to be private. The first one was public. They're all non-tax status homes. Then we did Alley's Way. Tax status is the multifamily, or they call it condo home status, where they're single-family homes where the taxes are half price. But just because we did a private road didn't mean it had to be tax status. We talked about that in 2 or 3 of the other meetings with the town, because the board was emphasizing on they don't want tax status, and they asked, well, could the road be private? And absolutely, it can be private or public. Just a matter of what the engineers design and what best fits the property, you know, after everybody talks about it. But no, we do projects from start to finish. We're on about our 5th or 6th.
Infrastructure.
Absolutely.
Yes, Bonecrest, Lancaster currently.
All right, thank you.
Sure.
Brownstone has a website where some of these designs can be previewed?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Brownstone
Homes
Homes,
also work with neighbors too.
Yeah.
brownstonehomes.us. If you come up, talk to us, we'll give you business cards, information, stuff like that.
And we're gonna everything that's been presented tonight, we're gonna throw on our city website for those people, they want to review it again and or couldn't attend the meeting tonight, for them to be able to look at.
Go ahead.
So with your proposal, will the city take over all of these services, or will there be homeowners' fees, or yet to be determined?
No, we mentioned that previously, that where the engineers will draw it up, and if there's a reason why they say it should be a private road, we'll let them know, but it won't be tax status. I think we're leaning more towards a public road. That's what we've done more of, you know, like what we're doing in, you know, Lancaster, Brownstone Court, Bonecrest Development, and Clarence, Bonecrest West. It's a public road.
Well, I don't care who builds the road, but
No,
when I
that's-
pay my tax bill, am I just paying my tax bill, or am I also paying a homeowner's fee?
It's more so you're paying just your tax bill, because we're going to give the road back and dedicate it to the town. So it'll become a public road. So the same plow trucks that go down Little League Drive will continue going down Little League Drive. They'll loop around and hit another neighborhood, the little circle that they'll have. And that's basically by design what I've been advised to focus on in our RFP, which was handed out to us, and we've been working on this for 18 months now. Go ahead.
Does somebody
That's a good question. In Clarence, the project is less than 5 years old, and there's 72 homes total. We only have 4 lots left. And those lots were not released till they're finished up and saved, and they're at the end of the cul-de-sac. They're released at the end because they're a very valuable lot. So we work our way from the corners to the back, so that's why you'll see some lots available. And as far as your question about the taxes, why would people want to buy here in taxes? Because your location, location, location. And that's what I mean, and that's, I believe in. Well, it's not for everybody.
Well,
Mike?
there are also, these other lots that are on the website are also different price points. So it's two different apple and an orange.
Yeah.
That's,
Thank you for your question.
Thank you, Jim Weber. So basically, what you're saying is the road be a public road like every other road in the city. Once you're done building it, then it will be
Yeah.
responsibility of the city.
That's the immediate intention. Obviously, GPI, the engineering firm that we lend to, will come back, and we would always go back to the board and say, here's what we're looking at rolling out. Do you have any questions or comments or complaints or?
Even a bigger question is, are you looking at trying to achieve any type of condominium tax break, or are you looking at 100% property value and that's what the tax rate is?
We've mentioned we're not focusing on a tax discount.
Okay. All right,
We
just
believe with the location of the property, the primeness of it, there'll be no problem with the amount of people that live in this town, in Tonawanda, and in the surrounding area, even people that work downtown Buffalo. This is not a far drive at all. I mean, it's a wonderful community, and I think that, it's a great opportunity for you all to have some new members too, not just ones inside the community.
we also had, there was an article in the paper mentioned a couple times after we sat at the board meeting. And since then, we've had numerous phone calls. When are you going to start the project? Did you get the project? Can we reserve a lot? When are you starting the project? How can I be put on a waiting list? So we're here because there is, people are asking about it. There's a lot of people inquiring.
Go ahead.
Now, your site plan is one way in, one way out, basically, or just?
No, I think every plan we have has more than one. You can come up and we can take a look at that.
One access to Fletcher Street, one
Yes.
access to Fletcher.
Well, I mean, there's a way in and way out, yeah. I thought you meant you just
So I mean,
circle
all
out.
these homes will be funneled either through the park, which is probably not a really great thing, or they're gonna all go to Fletcher Street and then have to work their way
Well,
out.
we can talk to the engineers and see if they can come up with other options, but this is what they had proposed, and we had already brought this up to the board and showed this to them.
Just that we just had a fall festival in the park, and it was like, all these kids in the park, and there's no traffic really to speak of, and now next year or so, you're gonna have the fall festival in somebody's front yard.
40,
I don't know.
it's 40 homes. I mean, it's not a lot of people, if you think of the total number, the relationship to how many people came to that party or that
How many
event.
people have multiple cars per household?
That might be 80 then. But go ahead, thank you.
I just wanted to make sure what Jim Weber said. Several years ago, this whole area was a total different predicament. I mean, the Buffalo has thrived in the last 3 or 4 years. We can now demand having people come in and build and not get tax breaks. 5 years ago, it was a necessity to have it because nobody wanted to build because there wasn't enough economic, support to support anything. Now we are in a different position. We don't have to have somebody come in and ask for subsidies and things like that because we are in a great location. Who wouldn't want to live here and transfer around to Buffalo?
Our economy is much better off than it was 5 years ago.
Right. I mean, it was just, we were in a different place 5 years ago than we are now, so it's not the same thing.
Thank you. Go ahead.
I don't know if this is for the mayor or something else, so potentially there can be an economic benefit as far as tax revenue, and if so, their plan is a little more defined. Is there any guesstimate on what type of revenue something like that could generate?
Well, I don't want to get into guesstimates because it's really based on.
I know there's a ton of variables.
Right, well, there are, but I mean, currently we don't receive anything for the property. So I mean, the economic benefit to developing that property is we would be getting something for nothing. There's a flip side to that as well, as far as green space and stuff like that. So, I mean, but to answer your question, there would be an economic plus to bringing in additional tax revenue into the city. And the second, what was your second one?
Oh, that was it. I mean, I don't know if there's a guesstimate if we could, you know, how much it would bring in out of this.
It would depend on how much the home is worth, and it would be a breakdown of either city, county, and/or school district. But, I mean, our current tax rate, if you were to put 40 homes in the $200,000 range, you'd be looking at somewhere around $125,000 to $150,000 in additional tax revenue into the city, not including the district or the county.
What about your plan for your roadways? Like, I was trying to look at, like, it looks like you're gonna develop, I call it the half moon.
Cul-de-sacs.
No,
Well,
the half
he's,
moon.
yeah.
Oh, the half moon one.
Half moon, I call it.
Yeah.
And then, what about from where your plan, your potential plan stops? Are you gonna redo that road all the way out from the corner to Adams Street? Or you're only gonna do that one section and the city's gonna have to pick up rebuilding that road?
We don't have plans to rebuild roads that we're not gonna build the house on, but, you know, we would rebuild the area that, wherever there's new homes on.
And obviously the city, I mean, if you're going to put a new road in there, the city would continue that as well. So, I mean, that road is probably long-lived.
Oh, it's
lifespan. As somebody that drives on it every day, it's well past its lifespan.
The flow of the traffic, and do you guys have a plan for if it's wet, or if you guys have?
Yes, we have an
I saw
irrigation
you
plan,
had the-
drainage,
the-
absolutely.
The pond on the back
Retention
side,
pond.
but that's not gonna help everybody
There's wetlands.
on the other side between Fletcher and the potential new development.
We have all the confidence in the world with our engineers. As Mitch just said, you know, it may not happen everywhere, but we're currently have built the last 11 or 12 homes. The sump pumps don't even run, no matter how much it rains, because they're engineers. It's finally being designed perfectly. The water
We're
runs out.
concerned that your sump pumps won't run, but ours might start.
Our sump pumps don't run, we live on a hill.
Yeah.
Right.
Right. They go into the sewer.
See, my sump pump runs all the time, so I don't get it.
in your backyard.
The creek is way down.
The sump pump has never run.
I don't have a sump pump,
I'm not
so
an
it's great.
engineer, but I know that good drainage is based on a couple of factors. A, location, B, grade, the two main ones. If you're sitting on a hill, your house is going to drain better, obviously. And, you know, where you're located is, you know, whether you're located in a swamp or, you know, on a piece of, you know, clear dry land, that's going to have, you know, a big effect on it. But grade can also be made, you know, can be artificially.
It's a requirement, the grade, and the engineers know that when they go in to design a project, that no water is supposed to run off our property. That's rule number 101 with the engineers. That's what they have to do. The town goes out and inspects every site, and in every town we've been in, you have to create a swell and bring the water back to your own property. So we're going to have drainage in the property, so it will run to the proper areas and run off towards the river or wherever stormwater runs. But it's not going to run to your home. It's just not going to happen.
One benefit of drainage is that, just real quick, is that not only is it inspected by the town and stuff like that, but there's also, the county is heavily involved in it. So it's just kind of another set of eyes on top of the engineer, just to make sure everything is going to be okay with it, because that's definitely something that's a serious issue as far as coordinating it. So.
I just want to say something. We're one of only 3 cities in Erie County, so they're more than likely used to